It's got to be a good setup. Otherwise, the risk is too high. So, you know, if this one stays strong, we'll have more opportunities on it. You're not missing an opportunity if you couldn't afford the risk to take the trade. So what else do we have here? You know, especially in this price range, one of the things is with this price range, you're going to have bigger spreads, you're going to have more volatility. When you're in and it goes the right way, you can do really well. But if you're in and it goes the wrong way, it can hurt pretty badly. And so because of that higher level of risk, my opinion is increasing the standard for the quality of entry. Something like Gene, for instance. So the high of the last 1 minute candle is 29.25. So something like Gene, you know, this pullback here, you're talking about 5-10 cents of risk, right? So you can really manage your risk. Something like JRJC, you're talking about 50 cents to $1 a share of risk. So if you're gonna, with 2,000 shares even, or with me 5,000 or 10,000 shares, risk $5,000 to $10,000 or whatever it is, you know, you only have so many times you can take that risk. So make sure you just wait for that setup to come to you that's a really good quality one. So this is now a topping tail doji. It's pulling back, so let it pull back. Let it pull back. If it's really strong, it'll give us another opportunity. So we've got Gene. Let's see. What else do we have? Well, this, I mean, it's obviously the leading gapper, so let the 5 minute pull back. I don't have anything else I'm super dialed in on. Yeah, PHUN, had that one. It was on watch a couple weeks ago, but it was not easy. Ooh, ANY. So this pullback here down to the low of 26.31. High of this little pop here was 27.21. High this candle's 27.21. So, you know, I would actually say this is a dip trade here. Let's see what the first 1 minute candle does. 27.21. I'm gonna put my order at 27.25 on this to add. I'll take a starter there. I'll just see if I can get 50 cents a share. Maybe back up to 28. First 1 minute candle to make a new high. Back to 28. So over 27.75. Watching 75. There's 60, 57. So again, first 1 minute candle to make a new high is a good setup. Looks like we'll have a nice trade here. Will it get back all the way to 28? Holding 50, that's good. There's 28. $87 by 28, 28.40. So this is gonna, at best, form an ABCD setup. So I'm gonna sell it here at 28. I'm happy with that. I'll come back in for the next trade. I don't want to overstay my welcome on this and be in too early. So it's a 5 minute set. It's not gonna be a 5 minute set until we have the first 5 minute candle to make a new high. But that first 1 minute candle, so here's the thing, when you have this big of a drop, first 1 minute candle, you're not gonna get a move back to the highs, usually. I mean, sometimes you do, but usually you won't. So, you know, on something like that, I think that was a good target, you know, from 27.25 up to 28. Now let's see whether or not it can reclaim this level. If it breaks down below 26.31, even though it's still well above the VWAP, that wouldn't look super good. I actually still have 50 shares I'm holding just so I kind of keep some skin in the game, but the high there is 28.28. So I started with 2,000 shares, and then I sized up to 4,000, and then 5,000, and I think I might have had 6,000 shares total. I'd have to go back up and just double check, but starter of 2,000 shares, and then added as it was moving higher. So 26.31 would be a double bottom. So let's watch this to see if it double bottoms. So it technically broke the double bottom there. I'm taking a starter, adding back at 26.40. I'm only starting with 2,000 shares because it did technically break that double bottom. Sorry, 26.50. First 5 minute candle to make a new high is 28.28 when this candle closes, but it still has 90 seconds left on it. So we'll see if this curls back up towards break at 27, then 27.50. So it's not a perfect double bottom, but it's close. So now there's 27.10. I'm still holding full size. I haven't sold any yet. I'm going to see if this does first 1 minute candle to make a new high here, which would be over 27.30. So then 27.35 would be an add, possibly. Will it hold 27? So I sold at 27, but still holding 800 shares. Looking for that first 1 minute candle to make a new high. I might do a dip trade down here. I'll just see what it does. No, I sold the rest at 40 break even. So that wasn't a very big winner. So you can see the 5 minute, although it did a double bottom and it did curl up there, it is selling off a little bit more. and the volume weight average price is way down at 22.71. So I have to always be a little careful buying dips in this sort of context. Although this is probably a good spot to be a buyer down at 26. You know, it just dropped $1 a share, so probably has, you know, a good amount of room back to the upside. The downside is that the nearby support is still a little ways off, and the first 5-minute candle to make a new high now would be way back up at 28.28. That's a little ways away. So we're getting a little bit of a pullback here, which is fine. You can let it keep pulling back and potentially keep making money during the pullback buying obvious dips, but I don't see the obvious dip just yet. And again, for those just tuning in, today's the last day of our 4th of July summer sale. So if you haven't already checked it out, for existing students, you can upgrade from the starter to the pro, or you can upgrade from chat room into the classes, or you can add a year to your membership. For those watching on Facebook and YouTube, it's certainly an opportunity to jump into the community, the chat room, the classes, and start learning a little bit more about how to be a day trader. So I encourage you guys to do your pre-trading checklist if you haven't already. Did you eat well? Did you sleep well? Do you have a couple stocks on watch this morning that you like? If you do, what's the condition of the overall market? It's pretty hot. Leading gapper's up 250%. It's pulling back now, but it's still pretty hot. And remember, you shouldn't be blindly following me or anyone else. Blindly following, it's not a recipe for success. You're always going to be behind. I think that there's value in watching what people are doing who have been doing this for a long time, because obviously, you know, the stocks I'm trading, there's a reason I'm trading them. And there's a reason that this is going to have, well, the volume yesterday was 130,000 shares, and this morning it already has 3 million shares. So it's 30 times relative volume day over day. What's the cause? Breaking news. So this is the stock that probably, you know, 95% of all the day traders who focus on small caps will be trading today. So there's a reason to trade it, but the exact entries and exits, they really have to come from your ability to see level 2, which is this right here, to be able to read that level 2 and be able to read the chart patterns. And that is what we teach, of course, in the classes. So this is pulling back a little bit more here. The current 5-minute candle has a low of 25.30. It's starting to curl up a teeny bit, but right now, I would say the tide is going out. You know, so each dip you buy, it's not going to come further up than the last one. So the moment where it starts to reverse and the tide starts to come back in, that's a spot that we want to be watching closely. So I would say on this one, that might be above like $26. But, you know, it still has 2 minutes left on the current 5-minute candle. So I'd rather kind of let this 5-minute candle form and maybe get a dip off of like 25 bucks. So I'm going to put an order down around 25, try to do a dip, let it sell off a little bit more. So the low of this last pullback here was 25.30. 25.30 is the spot that I'm kind of thinking about. Those of you guys that have been listening to some of the music, today we've got Greg Brown streaming. So, you know, a little bit of a pop there. Feels a little premature. Buying breakouts on this one is inherently going to be a little risky. Buying dips is going to be safer because then you're getting in at the low pullbacks. It's straddling 26 right now, so it broke above it, then back below it. But I would say that that break there is kind of the tide starting to change. So let's see. I hesitated on it, but you know, let's see how much it comes up, and then when it dips back down, our dips have been, you know, coming. It's kind of right into resistance here. So let's let it dip down. The low back here was 25.28. So the high of this candle was 26.89. All right, so This candle has, so first 5-minute candle to make a new high is going to be over 26.89. I'm long. I'm buying this dip here. First 5-minute candle to make a new high, and I'm not going to sell this. I'm going to add over $28. First 5-minute candle to make a new high is pretty strong. So on this one, I'm adding right here at 28. I'm looking for this to squeeze from 28.28 back up to 30 bucks, $29. So orders at 28.50 right now. Watch JRJC adding right there. New orders at 29. I haven't sold any of it. I'm holding the whole thing. I'm looking for this to break $29. Still holding, still holding. Over 29.50 is an add for the move up to 30. Holding the full position. I'm not selling. I want to see this break $29.50 and then $30. Watching here to add 29, adding there at 29. Riding this momentum, next target $30. We break through 29.50, we'll get 30, and then we're back up through the highs, $30.50, 32. So right now, this first pullback is an add. Watching here to add. I'm holding full size, I haven't sold anything. I'm holding full size right now, looking for $32. The high of this current candle is $30.50. Watching over 30.50 for an add for the move, adding at 30.50 right there, looking for the move up to $32. This is just ride that momentum. 32, then maybe 33, 34, 35. Holding full size right now. I haven't sold any. I'm looking for this to move up to $32.50. I mean, with this kind of strength, we might see a move. I don't want to underestimate what we might see. So this first pullback right here, the high is 31.41. As long as it holds 30, this is a dip. So I'm going to watch this for an add. Watching. So I have 20,000 shares on this. And right now on this 1-minute pullback, I want to see this consolidate here so I can then add the high of 31.41. I'm going to put my order at 31.50 for the add. Adding right there. Now looking for 31.50 to break and then a squeeze up to 32. This is a micro pullback, as you can see right here. So we're looking for the break of 31.41 and then up to 32. Right now, I'm feeling confident on this. This is the first pullback after the fresh breakout. I'll let it consolidate. Looking for the break over 31. Then 31.41. Watch over 31. First 1-minute candle to make a new high is the setup. Nice. I want to see $32. 31.50 is the spot that I'm really watching. Still holding. Looking for the break of 31.50 and then up to 32. So this dip right here, the low 29.07, I don't like that. I was hoping it would break over 31.50 right there. So the low here is 29.05. I'm going to hold for a second and see what it does. First 1-minute candle to make a new high after this dip. Low is 28.75. First 1-minute candle to make a new high is 29.75, so I'm going to put my order at 29.85 for a first 1 minute candle setup. See if that gives us a move back up towards the highs. Great volume on that 5 minute candle. The only thing that's disappointing is that it didn't hold that level better. So first 1 minute, watching over 29.70. Adding there. Looking for the pop back up to 30. There's 30.40. So I took some profit at 30.17 and 30.12. I'm going to see whether or not it holds this level. I sold the rest for now, $37,000 of profit. So that's a good pre-market trade. Wasn't more because, of course, I kept adding. I didn't start with 20,000 shares, at 27 or whatever it was. I started with 2,000, add another 2, another 2, another 2, another 2. My cost basis moved up. This break right here, if that had broken that level and squeezed up to 32.50, it would have been a $50,000 winner. But that's still a good start. All right, so I'm going to put that back. High of day is 31.45. I'm disappointed it didn't break that level. This was a false breakout on the 1 minute, and that drop right there cost me, well, I don't know. It certainly cost me some money, that drop right there. So at this point, wait for the next 5 minute setup. So yeah, 10,000 shares of this stock is $280,000. 20,000 shares is about almost $600,000. So it's a pretty big position. There's a risk there for sure. But again, I measure that risk against the reward potential and take short trades. High is 31.45. All right, so what else do we have? I don't know. This one's up 278%, 4 million shares of volume, high relative volume. I'm not sure that there's going to be something that's better than this. China, this is another Chinese stock, same as CLEU yesterday. CLEU didn't hold up very well, but Chinese stocks have been pretty strong recently. Recent IPO breakout on LGHL. This was one that we had on watch from a couple weeks ago. And again, yeah, keep in mind, $600,000 position, the risk isn't at $600,000 because my stop isn't zero. I wouldn't hold it until it goes to zero. So initially my stop was $1,000, 2,000 shares, 50 cents. Then I added, moved my stop up to break even. By the time I had 18, 19,000 shares, 20,000 shares, whatever it was, I was already green. I was already well in the green. So the stop was that instead of selling right now and locking up $50,000 of profit, I'm going to have to sell if it dips and make only $25,000. So I'm giving up unrealized profit, not realized profit. And so that's my kind of opinion of using a cushion as leverage to allow you to have a bigger green day. But that is something that takes a fair amount of experience and confidence to be able to do effectively. So LGHL, yeah, again, I don't see news on it, so for right now I'm going to leave it alone. JRJC, I'm gonna let it do another 5-minute setup, the same as it did back here, rather than jump in it right here. I see, that this is breaking this trend line right there. If you had a trend line drawn from, why is this, oops. If you had a trend line from here to here, it broke it there. And the high was $30.31. The high of this 5-minute candle is $30.49. So the high was actually from that candle right there. We have about 4.5 minutes to the bell. Those of you guys live streaming on YouTube and Facebook, I appreciate you guys hitting that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. This is the last day of our 4th of July sales, 4th of July summer sale. So if you haven't checked those out, make sure you do it. And again, final review of the pre-trading checklist. Did you eat well, sleep well? Do you have a couple stocks on watch that you like this morning? And if you do, what's the condition of the overall market? And do you have, a stock that's up 288%? Today, we do. So I'm going to try to continue to be aggressive, but we do know that some of these stocks have had really nice pre-market moves and then the bell rings and they sell off. So, if that ends up happening on this, that we don't see really good continuation through the morning, then I'll switch gears and focus on something else. But right now, this still looks good to me. It's got, let's see, a little bit of a buyer at 32, 35. I'm going to take a starter on this right here off of 29.07, because I'm looking for this to break over $30.50 for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. So right now I'm just holding. The ad spot for me is going to be over $30. So a break of 30, then a break of $30.50, and then first 5-minute candle and a move back up towards the high. So I'm adding right there. So I've got 8,000 shares. I'm going to put my order at 31 because I want to see the break of 31.50 and then that move to 32, which was my initial target. So watch up here for the break of 31. High of this candle is 31.80. So I'm still willing to go up to 15 or 20,000 shares on this trade. So I only have half size right now. This is going to be the first pullback. My ad spot is going to be at $30.80. So watch 30.80. Watching here. Looking for the green on the tape. Looking to add. You can see on this 10-second chart, we have this little period of consolidation here. So what we're looking for is the break over 30.80. I'm still holding because I can hold with a stop at break even at this point, and it's still in the green. High is 30.75 at that candle. So still holding. Looking for the first candle to make a new high, and then that retest of $30.80. This is still a good 5-minute setup. High of this current candle is 29.84. We only have 90 seconds to the bell, so we're kind of trading this right into the open. And to me, it looks prime for a break of 31.45, which is what I'm going for. That's what I'm looking for. And then a squeeze up to the next daily level of 33.60, and then we've got 41.48 is the next level above that. High of this candle is 29.84. Watch over 29.84. First 1-minute candle to make a new high after this pullback. So we've got less than a minute to the bell. This one's really choppy. All right, I stopped out, cut the loss on it. Now a halt going down, my gosh. That's crazy. That's crazy volatile. High was 31.45. Unbelievable. DNJR on the scans. And MOGO, I'll keep on watch. So JRJC, I'll be watching on dips, but that one's going to be tough for me. It's hard to manage risk. High on all, I have all-time highs on MOGO up at 684. The halt on this was 314. JRJC, basically what it did was a double top right there at 31.45. JRJC resumption is going to be at 9:38 and MOGO resumption is going to be at 9:37. So I'm going to watch MOGO first. We've got a headline on this one. So over $4, this has some nice room. We'll see where it opens on resumption. All right, so MOGO, the high was 314. So I'll just put my order at 314 and we'll see where it opens. Watching. 20,000 share seller there at 90, so it's dipping down. It would have to break over 90. Usually we don't like to see low opens from halts going up. That's bearish. The low of day is 220. LEJU, another one, higher float. Not sure about that one just yet. ICD. Maybe. And JRJC, I'm going to watch this one on resumption here. Resumption is going to be about 40 seconds away. So I have traded this one really well and then really badly, which is kind of discouraging. We'll go over the trades during the recap, but at this point, the VWAP is at $25.44. So I'm going to look for this. The halt was at 26, so I'm going to look for a dip off of the VWAP, 25.64. So I'll put my order at, I'll put it at 26 so I can try to do a dip. But it may have, I mean, it may dip more, you know, so if it breaks the VWAP, that's not a good thing, but I'm going to watch it down here for a long. So I'm long 25.50 and I sold the whole thing at 26. Actually, I got a partial fill. So the new low down here, 24. Watching to see whether or not I can get another dip trade on it. This is an irrational drop. That's a $5-6 a share drop. So, you know, with this type of drop, I like to try to catch dips. You've got good upside potential. So over 26 right now would be a good dip. The low is 23.80. So I sold the rest there at 26 for now. We'll see what it does. Low of this pullback, way down 23.70. I mean, this is volatility though. I mean, ultimately this is what we like as day traders. Just frustrating when sometimes you mismanage it. And it's got such big spreads, of course. That makes it even harder. Wow. Halt level 27.63 going back up. $27.91 is the halt level going up. Gene, I'm a little iffy on that one. It's not always been the easiest to trade, so I'm going to leave it alone for right now. Micro pullback there, break over 27 or 28, I mean, would be good. So, all right, it's reclaiming the VWAP. Will it hold above it? The VWAP's at 25.61. Now there's that flush back down. I'm going to take a long down there at 26.70. So just trying to take a starter dip trade on this. I think through dip trades I can probably make a little bit, you know, catching some of these flushes and then looking for the pops through the highs. Watch over 27.50. Still holding 900 shares. I'll look to do a dip on it. Gene high was 340. JRJC needs to break over $28. Sold the rest of JRJC for now. So again, bouncing off the VWAP, 25.50. Starter at 25.30, buying this bounce off VWAP for the move back up to 26.50, 27. First 1 minute candle to make a new high would be over 26. What's the high of this one? 27.28. So watching up here to add. Again, as it bases out above the VWAP, that's what I consider to be bullish. Looking for that first 1 minute candle to make a new high, which will be over, let's see, this candle's got 30 seconds left. High is 26.67. So watching 26.67, then a break of 27. Gene. Yeah, big sell-off there. So I sold JRJC for now. The high this last 1 minute candle is 26.96. This current 5 minute candle is green, but needs to break really over $28 to be bullish. And it's coming back down here again to the VWAP. Watching long for the break, bounce off VWAP at 72. Just taking these dips. I'm only doing 2,000 shares right now, smaller size. First 1 minute candle to make a new high is going to be 26.50. Adding right there at 19 for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high over 26.50. Looking for the squeeze up to 27. Got 68 on the ask. Still holding 1,700 shares. Looking for a dip trade. Still holding. I'm going to try to do a bounce off the low here. Halt level going down is a double bottom. I'm going to give it a second. The low is 23.76. Watching. Adding there on the false halt for the pop now back up to 25. So false halt gives me a chance to add, and then a pop back up over $25 is what I'm looking for. So watch 24.50. Looking for 50, 60, 70. I want to see it break over $25. I think we should get that break over 25. Got 73 on the ask. Stopped out. Bummer. So came back down to the lows. This is disappointing. That was a quick drop right there. $3 a share. So, you know, this is tough. If it had held this level, held VWAP, then it's bullish, looking for a move back to the high, but then that quick flush there and a break below VWAP, now I can't really trade it until it gets back above VWAP. Low down here is 23-ish. So, you know, at this point, I'd like to find something else to trade. This one is it's too weak right now. EQ. It's a nice move there, $1 a share. It's a little bit of a tough daily chart with that big red candle yesterday. So EQ at this point, to me, looks like a reversal trade from $13.50 to $15.50. That's $2 a share. So I don't have shares available to borrow, but I would look for a pullback. Halt level 1633. So let's see if it squeezes into a halt. You can see how 16 was resistance from yesterday. There's a topping tail candle. No, JRJC is not easy to borrow, but it doesn't mean that people don't, at least at my broker, it doesn't mean that people don't have shares available at other brokers. It's only 9:51, still early in the day. So EQ came back down to 15. Will it hold $15 or break that level? The 5-minute has this topping tail candle, so this is something that usually people would be pretty confident being short against the highs. JRJC breaking the VWAP here. Man, this one's gonna kill me. $26.50. Unbelievable. Just because it's been so choppy. It was clean out of the gates and then gave a good Slap in the face. Look at that. All right, well, will it hold the VWAP? That's the question. The VWAP is 25.49. The high there is 26.50. So if I was short, I would be looking right now at this and I'd be saying, all right, if it holds VWAP, I got to be really careful because, you know, it's going back into the hands of the bulls, the buyers. You can see these big green candle, big green candle, big red candle. So right now it's like, all right, is that big red candle coming? What's the low here? 25.36. Mosey on the scanner, MOSY. $1.92, a little on the cheap side. I'm not sure if there's news on that. Does anyone see news on that one? Halt level's $2.09. High of this current candle here is 26.41, as JRJC is looking like it's holding the VWAP. Is it going to break over 27? Watching over 26.50. I'm back in JRJC here, looking for the break of 27. Selling half 28. I'm happy with that. High is 28. I'll let it pull back for a second. Now, I was aggressive on buying dips on this previously. High is just about 28. The thing is, JRJC is volatile and has high relative volume, and that's what we look for as day traders. This candle here with 4 seconds left looks like a little bit of a false breakout. It's not our favorite candle formation, so I'm out of the rest of it. I'll see maybe if we get another dip. Low back here and halt levels 23.50. It's choppy with the big green candles and the big red candles. If you get it going the right way, you can do well. If you're in the wrong way, it can hurt pretty bad. I've had both today. Halt level going down. Looks like it's going to halt going down 23.50. Nope, false halt. Low a day is 22.62. EQ needs a 5-minute setup. Gene, the high is 354. Not sure on that one at the moment. Nice, Oscar. Good job. Mosey. Halt was, resumption is going to be about 20 seconds. There is a news headline on it. The 200 is at 21. So this was news that came out Wednesday, 9:54, resulted in the squeeze. So we've got breaking news on it. Daily has room up to 72. So on this one, I'll put an order at 250, and we'll see how it does out of the halt. Watching. No resumption yet. That means it's going to be a 10-minute long halt. 10-minute long halts usually open higher. On JRJC, if we just focus on the 5-minute chart, the 5-minute breakout spot is $27.91, $28. And the support is down here around $22.65. That's a $5 range. That's a huge range. So, you know, you can trade in range, buying dips, selling at the pop, etc. Or you can wait to trade it when it breaks out of range. I'm going to wait till it breaks out of range. WIMI, nice move there. Daily chart, first daily candle to make a new high is over 20 bucks. So this one may be worth watching. I don't love the topping tail doji, but the volume on the 1 minute has mostly been pretty strong. Nice on EQ, curling back up there. The high a day is 1590. EQ over 1590 could be a long just for the break through 16. It's a little more thickly traded. There's 85. I want to see what it does on the break through the highs, if it rips right up to 16 or over 16. There's 16, nice. Just watching it right now. So you can tell there's a hidden seller at 16. Hang on one second. EQ, micro pullback under 16. Has a possible long here. I'm long EQ for the break of 16. Next target, 1650. So watching this here over 1650. There's 1620. Over 1645 on EQ is an ad. Next target 1650, then 17. That was a nice breakthrough 16 on EQ. Still holding full size, looking for it to break through 1650. Stop is break even. Sold. If it holds 16 though, it could be a dip off the whole dollar. Yeah, so that's fine. That was the right move. I booked some profit on it. WIMI, looking for the daily breakout over 1950. Got a long on WIMI here at 69, and over 19 is an ad. Watching WIMI over 95, adding there 99. Back of mind target on WIMI is a move over 1951, and then the high here is 31, watching over this level. Adding there, looking for $20 on WIMI. I'd like to see this at least at 20. Halt level is $20.49. Seeing some nice action on this one here. Taking some profit off the table, $20. I'll let it pull back. So now on this dip, we've got our break on the daily. MOSY, I wasn't looking at on resumption. The high was like 45, and it looks like it's dipping down, so it's fine. Let's focus on WIMI. 2040 is the high. This one is the one that looks a little stronger right now. Added on WIMI, looking now for $21. So this one's holding the $20 level. So looking for the break over 2021. Holding only small size on it right now. I'll let it dip back down. So all out except for small size. MOSY curling up a little bit. It's a cheaper one. It has to break over 250. Next halt level would be 280. 281. WIMI pulled back down to 1980. The daily, though, has a lot of room, so this I want to keep a close eye on. High a day is 65, 2065. There's the high. So hit a high there of 2080. Watching in this area for opportunities up towards 21, 22. Adding there for the break of 21. We've got 94 on the ask. Over 21 is an add. There's 97. Adding there for the break of 21. So we've got a little bit of resistance. It's got to break through that level. So looking for that snap through 21 and then 21.50. Watch here. Looking for that snap through 21. Now I'm selling at 90. It didn't break that level. I'll wait for a pullback and then I can get a better entry on it. Yeah, there's a seller there, 20, 21. JRJC curling up again, trying to break the VWAP. Again, the level on the daily is, or the level intraday is $28. This is a pullback here on JRJC. Watching the high of 26.50. Again, if it holds VWAP, then the first 1 minute candle to make a new high is the setup. I'm long JRJC here. Only 3,000 shares starter. I want to see it break 26.50. It's definitely a little choppy, but I'm okay with that with smaller size. It's with big size that it becomes hard to manage, much harder to manage the chop. I'll just hold small size on this until we get that first candle to make a new high, or maybe a dip trade. The low down here is 25, possible dip off 25. MOGO, let me look. Yeah, MOGO maybe if it comes back up. It's got a little ways before it looks really good. First candle to make a new high on JRJC is going to be 26.21. So it is holding above the volume weighted average price, but as I said, it is in range right now. It's not going to be breaking out of range until it breaks over 28. High of this candle's 26.50. There you go. All right, taking a little profit off the table, and we'll see if we get a move up towards 27. Starting to rebound slowly. The range being that it's between the low of 22 and the high of 28. And actually, I'll move that up a little bit. So this is kind of the range that it's in. EQ is moving a little bit higher. Another big flush. EQ has gone from 13.50 all the way up to 17. Crazy. The low there was 23.60. UONE on the scanners. Let's look at this one. Chinese. Is this a Chinese? No. This one's not. This one's not. But from 14 all the way up to 17, no news. So this has just been below the VWAP, above it, below it, above it, below it, above it for a second, below it, above it, below it. So it's like very difficult. I've given back too much profit on it. Still green on the name, but it's a little discouraging. I was really thinking this was going to rip right out of the gates, and that one got me good. So 1744 EQ continues to go higher. EQ seems like it's squeezing out short sellers, but I would also be really careful about, a flush. It's extended. Could get a quick break of 18. Look for 18.10, 18.15. Not ready. So it's about 10.18. TLC. This one was not hitting my scanners. What's the volume on it? Oh boy, volume is very light. Very, very risky at this point with it being up so much. You know, could always keep an eye on it, but the risk is certainly higher. Nice on EQ. Yesterday's high was 19.18. Very big move here. Really needs a pullback. Would make more sense being short on it than long, I think, at this point. With a stop maybe at 19. MOSY dropped too much. JRJC still within range. WIMI is maybe starting to set up a 5-minute pattern. Doesn't seem to have quite as much momentum as EQ, but EQ is now pulling back $1 a share off the highs. The low down there on EQ is 75. Wouldn't surprise me if it broke that level, just because this is sort of a bear flag. The first drop, maybe 1750 could be a bounce spot. So bear flag is when it drops and then consolidates right above the lows, like it's doing right now. So now it's 50. You can see how it's selling off, but the spread is a 13-cent spread right now. So this is maybe going to form a 5-minute setup, but that would be 5-minute setup would be best case scenario. Low on EQ is 12. JRJC starting to open up, but this is where probably people would be shorting it, because every time it pops up, it drops back down. You know, it's in a wedge here. It's curling a little bit. The high is 27.50. So we know $28 is the breakout spot. So orders got to go at 28. So watch up here, putting an order on this. The high is 28. I'm gonna put an order at 28.50, because now it's breaking out of the range to the upside. Watching, looking for the break at 28.50. Looking for the opportunity on this one. So the high is 29.44. Wow. Watching for dip trades. Look at this flush down here. This might dip for a second. Long at 45, 28.45. Buying this dip. Now for the rip back up through 29.50. Looking for this to squeeze up here over 29. Looking to add over 29.50. Sold right now, break even for a second. I'm just gonna let it pull back. This is definitely moving in the right direction. I got in there, I thought it was gonna break, but high is 29. It was a false halt, dip down, so I bought that, looking for it to come right back up to the next halt level, and it didn't. So again, short sellers, this is where they're probably gonna either say, okay, I'm gonna be stopping over 29.50, because I don't want to hold this thing if it rips through the high a day, or I'm adding here, and I'm going to look for it to break down right here. So the low is 27.50 of this pullback. So let's watch 27.50. So I got a long right there, 27.60. I just bought that dip. Now the first 1 minute candle to make a new high over 28.50 is going to be an add. Watching here over 28.50. First 1 minute candle to make a new high, and then try to ride this momentum back up to 29. So watch, because this is the first pullback. So we're watching 28.50, adding right there 28. Now looking for 28.50 and a squeeze. First 1 minute candle to make a new high. This is looking good. Looking back for $29, $30. So there's 47. I want to see it break the $0.50. Little chop there. Is it going to break this level? I sold for right now. I'm going to put my new order at 29, and I'll look to do another dip. I'm just going to kind of keep trading in this range. The low is 27, so 27 would be my stop. Yeah, 10:30. So that's where we see that 10:30 to 11:30 little surge of momentum. EQ, man, yeah, that one is strong. Let it pull back again. Added right there. Only 1,000 shares. It's starting to open up here over 29, 29.50. A little chop. Selling for now. We'll let it pull back again. 27 would be a dip spot. So again, big flush there down to 25.30. I almost punched it to do a dip trade, but I just want to be so careful about buying into a halt. So I got a long there, buying 25.50, looking for this to rip back up to 26.50, 27. This is a bounce off the VWAP. Over 26 is an add. We've got 26.12, 26.18. So now I've got a good cost basis. 25.56. Sold for right now. New order is going to be to buy the dip alpha of 25. Again, bounce off VWAP. Kind of bear flagging here. This is a hard one. It really is. These drops are not fun. Long 25.06, buying that dip there. Looking for the pop back up to 25.50. Sold 25.50. 50 cents, 40 cents. EQ up at 19. So this is now back to the VWAP. We'll see whether or not it can hold the VWAP. EQ, on the other hand, strong. Long EQ there for the break of 19. Now over $19.50. 19.25 would be a possible add, as this is squeezing higher. Holding at 99. High is 22. New order goes at 25. Holding small size still on EQ. So 1918, it's kind of, this is the spot on the daily that really needs to break. Orders at 9.25 on this one. Not sure if where I want to do a dip trade on it though. Wondering whether it's going to hold the $0.50. So EQ looks like there's a buyer there at 50. Could have added, but I didn't. So yeah, that would have been a good add there at 18.50 on EQ. High of this candle was 892. First 1 minute candle to make a new high might work on EQ. Yeah, that $19 spot is important on EQ. TLC resumed. I wasn't really watching it, but it looks like it opened, halted going down. 220,000 shares of volume now. Watching EQ. Long EQ at 48, trying to buy this dip. Looks to me like EQ is going to bounce off this level, and then first 1 minute candle to make a new high is going to be over 61. So EQ I'm going to look to add for the move back up to 19. Watching on EQ here for first 1 minute candle to add, and then a retest of 19. Watching, adding there for the break over 19. So first 1 minute candle to make a new high. Now on EQ, I'm looking for this to squeeze up to $19.25. Holding, looking for the break over 19. Hands on the buy button. Got 76. I want to see 86, 96. Watch EQ here for the break over 19. And then the back of mind target would be a squeeze up to 1925, 1950. There's 85, 87. Looking to add in the 90s. There's 90. Watching. 93, 95. Adding there. Looking for the break through 19. This one's a little choppy, but I still think that when it breaks, it's going to be a good one. Sold for now at 70. Small profit. That's annoying. It was a good add at 48, but the add at 19, it didn't break. JRJC selling off again, back down to this 2350 support level. So it starts to roll over. EQ is still something I'd keep on watch. EQ at least is at the highs, up 32%. Yeah, I'll trade low price stocks when there's low price stocks that are looking good and that are strong. EQ, wow, that was a flush. Low was 1766. Yikes. So that kind of screws up that pattern a bit. IMMP, 32 million share float, not moving that quickly. Gene, moving but kind of grinding. I don't see a EQ halt from 27 to 15. I don't see when that happened. I see it squeezed up here to 27 after hours. And then just sold off. And the next morning, it opened lower, but it wasn't a halt that I see. JRJC, now is looking weaker, and of course at this time of the day, people may be less likely to be bullish on it. So we may see a bigger breakdown. It could still probably at the least give us some dip trades. TLC halted going back up. High of day was 1265, very volatile and light volume. Resumption is going to be in about a minute. JRJC, 16 million shares of volume. Yeah, I looked at Jack. Nothing interesting there. I don't see anything interesting on this one. There's no news. There's not a lot of volume. It's moved from 6 to 680, 10%. Wasn't on my scanners, so I don't really see anything there that looks particularly interesting. The volume weighted average, the 200 moving average is at 791. It's below the 200, so it just doesn't look like a very good chart. IMP, similarly, not that interested. RIGL, very weak. BIVV, or VBIV, is a little bit of a stronger chart. I don't see news, and this one has a lot of volume. It's really crowded, so the float's a little higher. It's a little harder to trade. CPTA, maybe, it is curling up a little bit. Floats 15 million shares. JRJC down here could be a dip trade long. I'll take a starter at 23, but only small size, 24, 23. As long as it holds 24, I'm just going to set my stop at break even. TLC has a bigger spread right now and is lighter on volume. But again, the high on it is 1265. So if it breaks 1150, that's a long for the move up to 12. Still holding JRJC. So the breakout spot there. Oh, stopped out of JRJC, break even. Or what did I get for slippage? 2 cents of slippage below break even. Yeah, that 200,000 share seller would need to move on TLC, that's for sure. Could be a short seller. Could be someone selling from a long, hard to say. So the high on Gene is 96. Wasn't able to break through the half dollar there, or the whole dollar. It's just very thickly traded. 98, 99, 30,000 share seller at 4. Can't break 4. So I would watch, I'd put an order at 401 if it can break 4, but I just have sort of low expectations for it on Gene. So I'm long there for the break of 4 on Gene. There's a seller at 4. It's coming down 39, 38, 36. Adding there and looking for this to squeeze up to 410. So there's 402. It's pathetic. Just sold it. Break even. This is what I'm talking about with Gene. It's just I mean, the amount of volume, there's 900,000 shares of volume in a 1 minute candle and it only went up 4 cents. Hit a high of 403. It should have gone right to 410. Oh, JRJC, halting going down. I'm gonna take a long down here. I'm gonna try to buy this dip. That's a big flush. And see if I can catch a pop back up here. So I'm in and looking for this to pop up to 23. Sold half, 22.50, 22.70 or 80. Sold the rest for now. So nice dip trade. Not a home run, but you know, a nice little dip from the entry at 21.89 up to 22.50-ish. So there's Gene popping up a little bit more. First attempt couldn't do it. Now it's got a high of 14. The problem, of course, with JRJC now, though, is that it really is weak. It's breaking down, very clearly breaking down. So it's one thing to do a dip when it drops $5 a share. That makes sense. But to just try to keep doing dip trades. Gene Man. So, you know, this is one where I guess you really have to buy dips on it. Because when you buy a breakout and then it does a false breakout, you have to stop out right away. High is 28. So I can't buy at 28 for the squeeze up because I'm only going to get a move to like 32. That's not enough. So high is 430. Let's see how much it pulls back down here. Now you're getting a little bit of a sell-off. Watching for bounces off 4. So watching down here. So that you can see how on the 10-second chart it's curling up here. I'm more looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. But I'm gonna put my order at 431. This is such a cheap stock compared to what I've been trading that I'd feel comfortable taking bigger size on it. But it needs to show it can hold these levels. So I'm gonna watch down here. I'm long at 08, buying the bounce down here off of the 4 area and looking for this to curl back up to 415, 420. As long as it holds 4, I'm okay. I might add more close to 4. What I'm looking for is the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. So high right here is 12. So look for the break of 12 and then squeeze back up to 20. Over 12 is an add. Adding there at 12. Looking for now the squeeze back up to 14, 15. High of this current candle is 15. I'm going to put my new order at 25. The high, okay, so the high of that candle is 15. So I'm looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, which is over 15. There we go. Now looking for 18, 19, and 20. So watch over 20. Adding at 18. I want to try to ride this momentum back up to 25. 425. So watch over 18, 19. There we go. So we want to see that break of 20 and then up to 25. Give it a second. It's got to break over 20. So there's 19 on the ask. There's 20. There's 21. So now we're seeing a little bit of momentum here on this. Stopped out at 17, 3 cents of profit. Should have gone up to 25. So high there, 430. This is now a 1 minute ABCD pattern, but it is in the context of a topping tail on the 5 minute chart, which is not great. EQ, a little bounce off the volume weighted average price. But you know, now as we get further into the day, close to 11 and up to noon, it starts to kind of slow down. There's a big flush on Gene, so that's a fail as it drops. TLC back at 50, 200,000 share seller. I can't imagine that's going to get bought up, but you can see that right there on TLC. But if it did, then I would, try to ride that momentum. So needs 200,000 shares right there. So there's 190,000 shares left. 190,000. 188,000. $88,000 shares of volume on that candle. So I will keep TLC over on another chart over there. Keep half an eye on it. EQ, JRJC, neither of those are really in play at the moment. JRJC, I don't really want to, I mean, again, it's down so much that over 22 could be a quick little long up to 23, 22.50. It's kind of bottom bound, you know, it's fishing off the bottom, but you could get something there maybe. We'll see what it does in this area. TLC, the seller's still there at 180,000 shares. JRJC, just kind of watching this for a little. I'm long JRJC here for just a quick rip up to $22.50. It's just a pop up over the whole dollar. So we'll see what this does. I don't like seeing that seller that just popped there at 90. That was very interestingly timed. I'll hold this for a second because someone's putting out some really big orders. Stopped out. That's really annoying. That was gross. So, you know, that was a totally unnecessary loss. Ended up being over $1 a share with size. Looking for a quick trade from 22 and just... I'm not revenge trading it. I'm just trading the opportunities that I see right in front of me. You can look at the 1 minute chart on it. Right there. I was looking for the break back over 22 and a squeeze up to 22.50, 23. Yes, I knew it was bottom fishing, you know, kind of trying to catch a little scrape off the bottom because of this bear flag, but I thought it was going to break. So it is what it is. All right, well, now I'm annoyed. So I'm just going to say that's a good day. It's good enough. 19,000 bucks. Gave back a bunch of profit on JRJC, but 20,000 is good. So, leading gapper this morning, JRJC up 300%. was a good gapper, but where I gave back profit on it was on a couple of different setups. The first one was, let me move this over here. All right, so the first one on JRJC, we had some nice action on this pre-market, and this right here was where I bought 20,000 shares for the move up to $31. So anyways, first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Again, on this one, I was up about 50,000 unrealized, and I was looking for the break of 31.45, and what ended up happening on it was it on a 1-minute micro pullback right here. Let's see, let me grab this. Right here, this 1-minute micro pullback, I was still holding full size, looking for the break over 31.45, and then the squeeze up to 32. I was in with 20,000 shares. My cost basis was around, just around 29 or so. So right up here, I was up just about $50,000. And then in this candle, it dropped right back down to 29. So I was still, maybe at that point, I was up, I don't know, whatever it was, 15,000. So gave back on 20,000 shares, almost $40,000 in that drop. It pops back up. I took some profit out. It pops back up here. I take some more profit out. And I was holding 8,000 shares into the open, looking for the rip right up through 31.45. At the open, it dropped from 30 to 26.28, and I lost about $15,000, maybe almost 18,000 on that move where it did that false breakout. So right away, this one, I mean, it was really difficult, and it ended up, I got back in right here as it ripped back up, and then it hit a high of 31.45. I added on this dip, and then whew, it flushed right down here and halted going down. So, you know, I'm a little frustrated that I'm only up 9,000. I was up 37,000 realized, and I was up 50,000 unrealized. And on this one, I was swinging pretty hard. I was trying to get a big win, and I, as a result, gave back some profit. Now, all things considered, 10,000 is still good. 20,000 on the day is also still good. I was up 25,000 before that last trade on JRJC. So, you know, I'm not super pleased with the action today. And I don't really know what to attribute it to particularly. I mean, on the one hand, this was really good pre-market, and I was just going for a little bit more on it. We had the break over VWAP, back below VWAP, choppy. So where did the choppiness kind of begin? Definitely on this candle here. That false breakout and double top was pretty nasty. So that was the first kind of warning sign. This was maybe the second. It did come back up here. And then at the open, this flush of $4 a share, not good. It reclaims that level. I got back in. It rips up to the high. I take some profit. It double tops. All right, not uncommon. It pulls back for a second. I add on the dip, and then right down to the lows, halted going down. And that gave back all the profit I had made right there. Dip trade down here, rips back up to 28. Consolidation here, first 1-minute candle to make a new high, right down. Ripping back up. First 1-minute candle to make a new high right here, ripping up, then right back down. Continuing forward, it reclaims the VWAP right in this area here. Reclaims the VWAP. First 1-minute candle to make a new high, pops up, flushes down. Rips back up here from 25 to 29. First 1-minute candle to make a new high, false breakout, back down below the VWAP. And then here it started stair-stepping down. Right here was my last trade, along over 22. I knew that this was a bear flag, but I thought that it looked on the 5-minute like it was due for a green candle. So I was looking for that curl back up just 50 cents a share. And as you guys saw, not a second after I got in, it flushed right here down to $20.97. Boom. just like that. Popped up for a second, drops down again, and I sold it and cut the loss. So JRJC had the potential to be a pretty awesome stock, but it ended up today being very difficult. And $9,000 is good. It's not as good as 37. It's not as good as 50. And today could have been a $100,000 day, but I just wasn't able to stay on the right side of this one. So probably had my biggest loss of the month today on JRJC, but also had my biggest winner right in here. That was a $37,000 winner, and then I had two good sized losses right here and right there. So I'm a little frustrated, as you can probably tell. And again, the frustration for me is that what I'm trying to do. So let me just kind of give you an analogy. So this Mustang that I have, it doesn't have a head gasket. So you have to, when you put the engine back together, you have to put it together just almost exactly perfectly as you lay it back down. Otherwise it leaks oil. So you take all the time of putting it together. You take it apart, you fix it, whatever it is. You put it back together, and then all of a sudden you're like, turn it on, and you realize it's leaking oil. You got to start over, and it's incredibly frustrating. What else can you do? There's nothing else you can do. You got to start over. So it's kind of like a puzzle, and it's incredibly gratifying to solve it and to be right. It's gratifying both in the P&L, but also just the sense of fulfillment of I solved this puzzle today, and I did it the right way, and I was successful. And so today's a day where as I sat down to try to solve this puzzle of being a profitable day trader, although I'm walking away green, which is important, and I'm above my daily goal, which is also important, it was a very sloppy day. And I didn't solve the puzzle as best as I could have. If you're trying to time yourself on a crossword puzzle, every day is going to be different. Every crossword puzzle is a little different. The more experience you have, the better your vocabulary, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously the faster you could solve it. But if you're trying to time yourself, this is a day where I sat here for 2 hours and I, had one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back, and I just kept not really getting things exactly the way I was, thinking they would work. I had much higher expectations for JRJC, and I'm disappointed because it's red on the day, it's the leading gapper, and it's failing. Although there was opportunity pre-market and there was opportunity during the day, it hasn't held its levels. And it's red. It's currently up only 187% versus 300%. So that's discouraging to see. What we like to see is that the leading gapper rips up and continues higher, that it halts going up, and that we're looking at second day continuation. That's when we're in a really hot market. SHLL, multi-day continuation back here, 1, 2, 3 days in a row, right? That's what we want to see. WIMI, very similar. WIMI, big gapper, second day continuation, awesome. Now it's pulling back, fine. Okay, we got a couple trades on it, $5,000. And this one was a 1 minute pullback right in this area, right? So that was a nice one, for sure. EQ, this one unfortunately had a really big gap and a huge move into after hours or into the afternoon, and then sold off, pulled back, and the next day, yesterday, was selling off. Today, bouncing up off the lows, impressive. I locked up 3,300 on it, a couple different trades. My best one was that dip trade that I took down here at 1850 with 12,000 shares, adding as it squeezed up to 18,000 shares, but it couldn't break 19, and then I stopped out as it came back down, fortunately with profit. But disappointing, because that could have been a $6, $7, $8, $10,000 winner. Didn't get it. So that's another one where my expectation was higher. The result was a little disappointment. WIMI, expectation potentially over 1950, a move back up towards 25. Result, less than I expected. Gene, frustrating. Only $700 of profit on it. High right here, now it's back up to 447. So I just, You look at a stock and you're like, man, this thing is up. How much is this up? 96%, and I'm only up $700 on it. It feels a little, it can make you feel a little defeated. This one has responded a little bit better on 5-minute time frame than 1 minute, actually, but the 1 minute's been a little choppy. And I really prefer to trade more on the 1 minute, because when I trade on the 5 minute, then inevitably I end up holding things longer, and it's you have exposure risk. The longer you're holding a stock, the more your exposure risk increases. So we're seeing some, we're definitely seeing some momentum on this one, but not exactly, like this was a 1 minute pullback there and it was a false breakout. But if you were still in on the 5 minute, maybe this would be where you've taken some profit. So I don't know. Again, it's not, I don't think today, in terms of, taking kind of being accountable for your wins and your losses, did I do anything today that I really wish I hadn't done? So the only thing I did that I was a little bit not sure about was I held from pre-market going into the open. Now the thing is, when stocks open near their pre-market highs, what is so common is the bell rings and they rip. They rip right up through the pre-market high and sometimes halt immediately, right? We know that. And this to me looked like it just had that potential. And I was wrong. Now, the problem was that although I had a pretty good entry, I think I was in it was around $29. Let me go back on this one. So I was in, and as soon as the bell rang, let's see, I added at 30. So I added right there and it hit a high of $30.12. And I think at that point when I added, I had 10,000 shares. And then it flushed down to 28.28 where I sold, 27.50 where I sold more, and 27 where I sold the rest. So that's a $3 drop with 8,000 shares. I mean, that's $24,000. And I averaged, I didn't sell the whole thing at the bottom, but as I was selling. So that was so bad. So bad. I think that I guess I would say that holding, and I say this a lot, that's very risky to hold from pre-market into the open. It is. It really is. But I was already up 37,000, and I thought that this was the one that it was worth taking that risk on. And I was wrong. So, the cost of that risk that I took was pretty high. And so that knocked me way back down. Then I got back in right here as it ripped back up. I didn't make back everything, made back some profit, and then bought this dip and then gave back what I made. So I was, up 37, then up 15 or whatever, then up 25, then up only 10 or 15. It was very, very difficult. And I actually, I know at one point I actually went red on it, unrealized with what I was holding. So this one was not easy for me. I was down $7,000 from up 50,000 unrealized to down 7,000 unrealized. That's kind of discouraging. But it does speak to the fact that when you trade a stock like this with 10,000 shares, you're going to have some big whips in the P&L. And so, you have to be able to withstand that. 10,000 shares, this is a $200,000 position. And it just in between the spread is $1,200. So this could go up or down 5,000 in a heartbeat. So you have to be able to not sweat $5,000 up or down. And if it goes the right way, you could get a $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 winner on it. And I probably could have today if this had been stronger. But unfortunately today, it wasn't as strong as I thought it might be. So that was, I would say, going back, I was like hesitating right here at the open. I was like, should I sell it? Should I hold into the open? And I was like, this looks so good. If you sell it, you're gonna kick yourself, and because if if I had sold it, it would have ripped right up to $34, and I would have been like, look at that. That would have been, I would have been up 75,000. And instead I held it, and then, it dropped. So those two drops there in the first 5 minutes, this was really bad. So if I had just not taken that trade, then I might have been able to take this dip trade right here. Probably still would have taken that one. And I probably still would have taken this one, and I probably still would have lost here. But at least I would have saved myself that first loss right out of the gates. So that's my only regret today. I think that I had good reason and a really good profit cushion, but maybe I was holding a little too much share size going in to the open, as the bell was ringing. Gene, I feel annoyed on it, but it just doesn't really fit super well within my strategy when you have stocks like this that are grinding. It's not flushing enough to give me really good dips. I got a couple, but these are tricky. And so these ones often I do struggle with, and so I don't feel too bad about that. EQ, I did the best I could on it. I'm happy with that. WIMI, again, did the best I could. Pretty happy with that. TLC, didn't end up taking any trade on that. Didn't break that level, so not surprisingly, but no trade there. So that's where I'll sit here at the end of the day, $19,000, which is, again, a good day, all things considered. It's not the high of day, but it's a good day. So I should be careful, though, tomorrow as we go into the end of, start to make our way towards the end of the week here, tomorrow on Thursday, just because although this has been a good week with 40,000, was it 40,000 yesterday? I'm trying to remember how much I made yesterday. I think it was 40,000 with 35,000 on Monday, or no, 75,000 on Monday, 40,000 yesterday, and then today 20,000. So I'm up 110, 130,000 on the week right now. On the month, let's see, I'm up close to 300,000. So, it's good. But the market can definitely be a little humbling because and again, for those that are criticizing me for being annoyed or for, not feeling like, oh, it's only 19,000 and not being ecstatic, this level of annoyance and frustration is what teaches you to become a better trader. Holding yourself to a higher standard where you say, listen, this wasn't good enough. I should have done better. I could have done better. I was up more. So, if you're disciplined, you're not going to always celebrate, when you come in 5th place in a race. You're going to say, well, all right, I should have been in first. And I could have been in first if I had done this and this and this. So that's a competitive nature that some people have and some people don't have it. So I can understand from an outside perspective, someone could say, hey, dude, don't get so bent out of shape. You're up 19,000. And I'm not that bent out of shape. I was annoyed about the JRJC loss because that was frustrating. And Gene was also a little frustrating. Those were frustrating trades, a couple back-to-back, frustrating losses there. I'll step back and I'll be done with this, and I'm not going to dwell on it for the rest of the day. I'm not going to be like, oh man, I'm sit in a corner and be depressed. Not at all. I'm a little heated about it in this short period, and then I'll step away and it is what it is, and I'll come back tomorrow, recharged and refreshed. But if I was just always, perfectly satisfied with how well I was doing, I wouldn't be striving to be better. So I think that this aspect of my personality can be a blessing and a curse, because you're right that there are days like today where I'm not going to be celebrating $20,000 in profit. Even though 6 months ago, this would have been like a fantastic day. In the current context of trading right now, this is not as good as it could have been. But on the other hand, continuing to strive to be better is how I was able to have 2 days in June where I made over $200,000 in profit. And I think that if I take what I learned from June on those 2 days, which was that I traded well, but I could have even done a little better, that in July or August or September, if we do see a stock like JRJC, because in June we were seeing stocks like JRJC that were actually breaking through the pre-market high like this and ripping up to $35, $40, $50 a share. If that happened today, I'd be up over $100,000. I can almost guarantee it. So, when something like that happens, and it maybe is a stock that starts at 8 and goes to 15 to 20 to 30 to 40, that could be a day where I could potentially make $300,000 or $400,000, $500,000 in one day. It's possible in the market if you take enough share size and you're willing to take risk. Now you can also say, oh, $19,000 is a great day. It's the best day I'll ever have. I'm not going to strive to do better. But you can see clearly the opportunity. I was up $50,000 today. And through a series of decisions that I made, I'm now up only $19,000. Had I made some slightly different decisions, I could be up 50, I could be up 75, maybe even more. And again, so it's up to you to hold yourself accountable and say, okay, I'm glad I'm green, but I broke all my rules. I traded terrible stocks. I honestly got lucky. I was holding something that was terrible. And I wouldn't say that was the case for me today, but it's important to be honest with yourself, to review your metrics and say, okay, this is good, but how could it be better? So I haven't imported my trades yet from yesterday, but this is where I sat on the month after Monday. So net 222,000. So 76% accuracy is fantastic. The profit loss ratio is pretty good. On the high level surface view, I wouldn't say in these metrics there's anything that really needs to improve. Maybe tighten up a couple of these bigger losses. All right, 12,000. Because today I'm going to have one that's in the 20s, I bet. So that's going to hurt my profit loss ratio. So maybe I was a little too aggressive on that. So again, trying to do that honest review of your metrics and give yourself that feedback to try to be a better trader is an important part of the process. All right. So anyways, that's it for me. Again, reminder, as part of the recap, two things. For those watching on YouTube and Facebook, I hope you guys have hit that thumbs up button. I hope you've subscribed to the channel. I'll be live streaming tomorrow morning around 9:15, the pre-market watch list. I might start earlier at 8:45 or whatever, but expect around 9 a.m. I should be live streaming the watch list. And today is the last day of our 4th of July summer sale. So those of you guys who haven't checked it out, I encourage you to jump over and do check out those sales. Gene, it's a heartbreaker. It's going without me. Hit a high there at 510. Again, this is one of those stocks. I had 20,000 shares here at 4. I would have made more money on this if I'd, just taken that 20,000 shares and walked away. But you just never know how high a stock is going to go, and when you're going to have something like JRJC that, gosh, if I was still holding my 20,000 shares on this from 20, whatever this was, $27, I'd be down 200 grand, right? So you got to manage your risk. Cut your losses. When it's not looking good, you get out. You can always get back in. And sometimes, over the course of 3 or 4 days, you keep buying it higher and selling higher, selling higher. And that's just the way it is. So anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys had a great day, and I will see you all back here first thing tomorrow morning.